Hello, 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 uh, to all my beautiful people. Uh, let's see if I can fix the lighting in here. Give me a minute. Mm. Trying to see, is that better? Looks to be a little better. Let me try one more thing. Uh, oh, excuse me. Okay, I think this is going to get. Okay, well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Uh, this is your one and only Tara and Harper coming to you live from my office here in Champion Forest area, Houston, Texas. And today we're going to talk about how GED is mandatory and not just an option. Okay, it is mandatory, but not an option. Okay, so I've been teaching GED since 2013. I've been tutoring and helping students since 2013, but I've been in education since 2001. And I've been doing post-secondary education since 2003, besides being a healthcare consultant. So I have 2 degrees. I have my high school diploma from Forest Brook High School, North Forest Independent School District when it was. Now it's HISD. I started off at Prairie View A&M in nursing for 3 years. It hurt. I plaited my hair last night so I can have curls. And I also went there for nursing for 3 years. My goal was to be a registered nurse, a neonatal nurse practitioner, and then one day to be a what do you call a physician specializing in adolescents. I also attended Texas Southern University, which is my alma mater. It took me 18 years to finish my degree because I had to work. I was married. I am married. I am married. I was. I am. Yeah, married at 30. And I had to do something productive with my life and take advantage of the moment while the opportunity presented itself. So with that, it took me 18 years to acquire my bachelor's degree. So I never gave up on getting my degree. I just had a lot of things that kept popping up and happening. And I had to learn how to manage my distractions and master them and learning how to say no to some people and some things and some invitations in order for me to get that done. Shortly after, I attended graduate school, 2009. I finished 2 years on time. I got my MBA degree, Master's of Business Administration. Long story short, I was trying to set up the school to call my husband to get his master's degree, but he in turn referred them to me, and I ended up getting my master's degree and emphasis in health information systems. So I'm very, very grateful. I never intended on getting an MBA degree. My hopes was to get a master's in health care science or healthcare administration, but the Lord graced me and He allowed me to get my MBA, and He sent me some help as I was attaining my MBA degree, and I successfully passed. So I'm very, very grateful to God, and I could truly say, as an encouragement to the rest of you guys who are trying to further your education, yes, I burned the midnight oil. Yes, I stayed up till 2 and 3 in the morning, studying, getting up, studying before I went to work, because my better judgment of thinking was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get dressed for work um, at 6 in order to be to work at 9, because I stayed pretty far at the time. I stayed Channelview, and I had to travel way to Beach Nut and 59. So um, if you put forth the work and the sacrifice, you can do it. You can do it, but you have to want to do it. And it comes from a great proverb that my dad used to tell me when I was in the dating world. And most of the guys that I dated, my dad did not like, did not care for. However, um, let's see here. He said that you can't make a man fall in love with you. They have to want to do it. And when they do it, it's worth it. But you can't make them. You can't trick them. You can't manipulate them. They have to, with all their heart, want to be in love with you and love you. And love you with an open hand, not a closed hand. You don't want someone who's going to love you with a closed hand and be obsessed with you. You can't breathe, you can't think, you can't do what you need to do without getting their permission or telling every 10 steps where you're going. That's intrusive, that's bondage, that's slavery, and that's not free love. That's slave love. Okay, and that's not God's love. That's not real love at all. Okay. Uh, so I want to speak to all those who need encouraging about getting their GED, and why is it important for you to have your GED? Now, a lot of you, uh, and I've done some research this morning. I'm very much a research and reader. Um, a lot of you drop out because of various reasons, and I get that. I really, really get that. Some of you drop out because, let's read what I have here in this article, and I share at the bottom of my post where my information came from so I can give credit and privy to the authorship of information. Um, it says that a lot of them drop out because they are failing too many classes. And I have to say, sometimes parents don't know because their children will tell them lies. And I'm sorry, parents. I'm just going to be real with you. Sorry, students with that's looking for what do you call that? Fairy tale truth. But this is the real truth. You drop out because you fail in too many classes. Now, either A, it's you, or B, it's the teacher. Okay? Some of y'all, let me side with the ones that says it's the teacher. Sometimes you have ineffective teachers that don't know how to reach you. Sometimes you have an overcrowding population of 30 students to one class at a time, especially in high school. They change every 45 minutes to an hour of classes. So sometimes you have the classroom management is not attainable. So it makes it hard for you to focus and get your education. So you have kids that come in, they want to play, and they get upset with teachers that don't have a discipline with your play. Um, and so I want to say to my teachers, uh, and I don't know everything. I'm just giving suggestions. So don't shoot the messenger. Sometimes we can waste too much energy on one person, one out of 32 students, one out of 28 students. And that person may exude negative attention, meaning that they're going to do all that they can to distract you from doing your teaching and not obey the rules of the classroom. And I really have to say, um, going back to the student side, it's partly your fault and partly your parents' fault. Number one, students know when to cut up and when not to cut up. That's just the absolute truth. They know when they at home with mama, she ain't gonna play that. But when you at school, you want to come goofy and act up and do all these things. And when the parent is in touch by the teacher, you want to get mad at the teacher, come up there and cuss the teacher out and think the teacher is being facetious or being unruly about your child. And if it's a trend that your child has been cutting up, you could basically tell what your child is going to turn out like when they first start pre-K kindergarten. You can basically tell. If they start off wrong in kindergarten or pre-K, first, second, your foundational grades. That's pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, and third. Those are your foundational grades. If they're not consistent on learning, if they're not on a routine of learning during their foundational years, then come fourth, fifth grade, middle school, high school, it's going to be very hard to get them to be on a routine. Because number one, you have enabled them and you're not pairing up with the teacher to help enforce the rules of the classroom with your child. And so therefore, it makes it hard for the teacher to do their job. Teachers are with your children 8 hours a day. That's all they're allowed is 8 hours a day, not 24/7, 8 hours a day. And we can only do so much in the classroom with your child if you're not helping enforcing it at home. Yes, we understand you work. I get that. You have 2 or 3 jobs. I get that. You're probably a single parent. I get that. You're the grandmother. I get that. But you have to put forth more emphasis on making sure that child does what they want to do. And I'm sorry, I'm all for the discipline. Because if a child is talking back to the parent, 9 times out of 10, they're talking back to the teacher. If the parent is cussing out the teacher, 9 times out of 10, your child is eventually going to start cussing you out, the parent. So you got to show that role of dominance and respect for authority at a very young age. If you don't show that dominance of respect for authority at a young age and respect for elders in the community, in the schools, then yes, you are looking at a propensity of a child in trouble. I'm just going to give you the absolute truth. So stop blaming the teachers. Stop saying she's not doing her job. He's too hard on my son. Blah, 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 blah. We're not hearing that. Because believe it or not, at the end of the day, y'all forget, teachers have children too. Teachers are parents too. And when they finish teaching your child or seeing about your child, they got to see about their own child. I would be totally appalled at another teacher cussing out another teacher over their child, and you're a teacher yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself if you do that. Shame on you if you're a teacher and you cussing out another teacher for the sake of your child. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm just giving you straight up truth in your face. And you can what do you say that? YouTube me all you want to. thcod@hotmail.com. You can email me and we could talk about it. And I tell you again to your face. These days and age of just having kids, dropping them off at school, and you expect the teachers to do everything is no longer going to work. And teachers are not there. I truly believe in my heart there are still some dedicated people who graduate college, who still have a heart and a passion to teach. But my God, at the end of the day, they are just so blown away because they don't see reinforcement of behavior. And then sometimes, for that small percentage, You have some children who are battling with iniquities, meaning if your parent was a troubled child, then 9 times out of 10, your child may seed up what you once used to be. And if you want to make a difference in that child's life, I suggest you open your eyes and look at your child correctly and say, I see myself at 5 years old. Let me deal with this because I know what I once was to my parents, and I will not have this in this generation, not with my child. Okay? So, failing of classes, if your child is not exemplifying interest in school, in pre-K, kindergarten, first, second, third grade, I'm telling you, parents, it's on you. And you can have social issues going on. God bless the souls of women that go through domestic violence. Men too go through domestic violence. They go through homelessness, things of that nature. So a lot of times we try to hide the social embattlement, socioeconomic embattlement of what we deal with from the kids, but kids can't help but vibe, feel that, see that, sense that, and say, I don't want to deal with this because if mama ain't happy, or daddy ain't happy, or granny ain't happy, or papa not happy, I'm not happy either. And so you have to teach that child how to persevere, even through devastation, tragedy, and trauma. You have to be the bigger parent and teach that child how to persevere. And let me say this while I'm on this note. I don't like it when parents try to make their children their peers. Your child is not your peer. You don't tell your child grown folk stuff. You leave a child in a child's place. That's what you do. You need to talk to somebody or vent about grown folk stuff, then you talk to a tree. Talk to yourself in the mirror, like Michael Jackson. Talk to the man in the mirror. Or find you somebody to talk to. But don't you dare open up your life wounds to a child. They have enough to deal with, let alone trying to make it through school and deal with peers themselves of their own age and level. I know that's hard, but that's what church is for. If you go to church, you'll meet some God-fearing, praying people that'll help pray you through. Your child is not your pastor. Your child is not your counselor. Your child is a child that needs to be properly invested in. I can't say it enough. So let me say this. I may have not naturally had children, but I am a mother, a spiritual mother to a lot of children that I have mentored, talked to, and disciplined over the years. And there were a few I had to tell them, I am not your equal. I am your godmother. I'm your yaya, whatever. I'm not your equal. I had to tell it to them to make them understand you will reverence me. I'm not a toy. I'm not to be played with. I don't have a problem investing in you, but you're not going to abuse me that's invested in you, and you're not going to abuse my money or my time. And I just so wish a lot of parents would take up that same authority. Know your authority. I'm not saying you got to be bulldogish. I'm not saying you got to be hardcore and you don't listen to your kids. I'm not saying that at all. Sometimes you got to remind that child and put them in proper perspective of who they think they are and who they should be. So please, parents, when you raise your children, and my cousin said that, and God bless her soul, she's an attorney. And she worked for the CPS and stuff like that. She still does. But my point is, and I love what she said, Shiny. She said, you raise your children to be ready for the world, not for yourself. And that's something my father always preached about as we grew up, was that Better learn what you can and get out what you can, because mom and dad is not always promised to you. He always used to say that. And I hear him, but I was like, oh, he just talking. You know how kids, oh, he just talking. Until he died at 24 years old. In my life, I was 24. He was 2 months shy of being 50 years old. I'm 50, so I have surpassed what he did not surpass. Thank you, Jesus. I'm still here in the land of the living. But my point is, he was firm on us. He was hard on us. And he taught us that mom and daddy are not going to be here always. And I did not know at that time of my life that my father's time on earth was going to be cut short out of my life. So raise your kids understanding survival, what it is to take care of themselves, what it is to buy stuff out the grocery store. I have a gardening ministry that I teach the kids in the neighborhood about flowers and gardening, fruit gardening. They need to know where this come from. This didn't fall out the sky. I'm just on a tangent and on a rant, but nevertheless, you parents, keep your child in their place. They're not your peers. They're your child. And children are meant to be invested, not wasted, or pawns to get mom and daddy upset because so and so not paying me my child support. How dare you? How dare you? I'm being bold. I'm sorry. I'm being prophetically bold in your face. And I tell people all the time, be careful when you seek prophets, because a lot of times when you get a prophetic word, it's not going to always be about houses, baby, cars, and spouses. It's not going to always be about that. It's going to be some hardcore truth. And if you read the Bible, there were some prophets that gave some hardcore truth. Okay? You can't deal with the truth, then you're not ready to live. You just a wonder in your own mind. And you know what? I'm one of them kind of people. I will wipe the dust off my feet and leave you right there. I will leave you right there to be a wonder in your own mind and pray that God deal with you. I'm not wasting my energy with you. I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm a lovable, sweet person, but I know when to let you go. I know when to say, move on, Tara, to the next project. Next, next, next. Thank you. Okay. So too many are failing classes. Some say that they're bored with the classroom. Okay, again, I have to go back to childhood. My mother, bless her soul, she's living. Thank you, Jesus. She installed the values of going to the library. We would go to the library and check out 10 books a week, each one of us. I had 10 books. My brother had 10 books. My sister had 10 books. We all had to read our books. We all had to write short little paragraphs. My mother was heavy into education because she herself went to Grambling. My aunts and uncles went to Grambling. So she put us on a regimen. And I'm grateful for that. Help teach a child how to put themselves on a regimen. And a regimen doesn't mean that they need to be on the phone doing this. That's not a healthy regimen. Or they need to be in front of the TV with Xbox. That's not a healthy regimen. That's not reality. All that is saying IT is your reality, and you don't have to deal with people. Suicide rates going up. People that are antisocial, don't know how to make friends. Oh, especially if they got, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say the truth, Donald Trump syndrome, where they think everybody got to come to their feet and kiss it. That's not true. You have an entitlement spirit. You think everybody owe you something because you've been through something. We all been through something. Okay. So, boredom. You need to teach that child how to be creative. Put them in arts classes. There's power. I say it all the time to my college students. Technology is a beautiful thing if you use it correctly. If you use it correctly. Now, on YouTube, you could use YouTube and put on some Bob Ross and teach your child how to draw and paint like Bob Ross and get them to write in letters. Because some of y'all kids, I'm gonna tell you right now, I done been through the kindergarten, elementary school, mostly high school, and college. College, their handwriting skills are deplorable. And there are some I have to sit up and literally help. Why are their handwriting skills deplorable? Why are they awful? Because mom and daddy didn't sit down to make sure that they knew how to conjugate verbs. And let me say this. Let me soften up a bit. Some of you parents may not be as astute to know how to help your child in written language, subject verb agreement, things of that nature. They have the Houston Read Academy. They have all different type of free venues. And if you email me or text me, thcod@hotmail.com, or text me 281-723-4762, I will send you places that are grant funded that will teach the parent how to read and write. And if you are just like, I need to learn, but my child still need help, we have after school programs at these schools. Now, I know Trump has done some changes and whatever, but you know what? There's always somebody at the church that are retired teachers, and they don't have to necessarily be teachers, but they may have been prolific writers that can help your child write. And pray and discern. Don't release your child to everybody. Pray and discern about everybody, because everybody is not worthy to be around your child. I had to put that little disclaimer out there. So it's time out for excuses. Parents, when you make excuses, you're teaching your kids how to make excuses. When you say I can't do it, you teaching your child to say I can't do it. So let's own it, parents. Let's own it. You need to own it. I taught my child this. I told my child that. I trained them to think like this. So that's why they came out like that. You did that. Wasn't society, wasn't the teachers, wasn't the friends, wasn't the peers, wasn't none of that. You did that. Now own it and fix it. And tell the child, children love it when a parent is big enough to say, Mommy made a mistake. I am so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, I was immature. I am so sorry. I made a mistake. Now, we need to fix this. And I need you to think like this. From now on, we're going to think like this, and we're going to do things like this. And if I lag behind, son, if I lag behind, daughter, I need you to hold me accountable and say, Mama, but you said you were going to help me. Daddy, but you said you were going to, I need you to help me. I'm so sorry. Ooh. That prophetic side is coming out strong today. Okay. Moving right along. Some have become caregivers. You have sickly parents. And sometimes you can't focus on school because you're too worried about mama having another diabetic attack, going into a diabetic coma, or having a heart attack because her blood pressure is constantly high. Let me say something to these parents. God bless you for having children. God bless you for having children that's taking care of you, that's helping you. But also try to help yourself by getting some other folks, some other remedy to help you while your child is trying to help themselves to an education. Because like my father used to say, tomorrow is not always promised. Mom and dad is not going to be here always, but your child will. And your child got to learn how to live beyond you. Yeah, they'll miss you. They'll love you. But the greatest legacy you can leave your child is knowing how to take care of themselves. Now, are you saying, well, my child, my child owed me because I gave birth to him or I gave birth to her. So that's the least they could do. First of all, pump the brakes. Your child did not ask to be here. Let me help you get an understanding. And all that I get and get an understanding. That's the word, read that, Psalms 1. You need to understand that child did not ask to be born here. That child did not ask to be your child. God appointed that child to be here through you. So primarily, it's God's child. You just happen to be the steward of his child, not yours. So your child don't owe you anything. If anything, you owe them because they blessed you with an opportunity to be a mother or a father. Free up that child. Don't hold that child as a slave. If you know Big Mama or somebody else to come and help, while that child, everybody should be a community in the family to say, baby, we want you to focus on school. We got mama from 7 to 4 o'clock. Somebody, we're going to rotate. We got mama. I want you to be at peace and focus on school. Because that's what families are supposed to do. Families are supposed to come together to help one another, not just be about, it's about me, it's about me, it's about me. No, I got mine. You need to get yours. No, you got yours and you didn't get that. Well, I'm gonna get mine. Okay, forget about you. Let's let go of the drama. Because at the end of the day, when that child looks back, that child, let me tell you something. Children have a way of remembering those who gave a damn, sacrificed, and cared and did. If you didn't sacrifice, care, and did, they're going to remember that. Then when it comes your turn and you need them, some kids are diligent. They'll come back. They're very dedicated. They'll come back and help you in spite of what you did not do. In a forgiving sense, that's a loving child. You ought to thank God for that child every time when you know you wasn't there for your child and their child is there for you. You need to tell the Lord thank you, because they don't have to. And if a child does it, it's because they want to, not because they have to. I would hate to serve somebody because I have to. And the genuity of love and care behind what I do is not there because I have to. I'm advocating for the kids that can't speak up for themselves. I'm putting it out there to you real. I'm one of them in your face people. I'm sweet, but when I'm getting tired of it, I'm going to get in your face. I'm going to confront you. I'm bold like that. I said it once before, I don't need an entourage. I don't need an army. Told you where I was located. Gave my email and my text. Rap to me if you want to. Bring it. Getting held back because sometimes you have jealous parents. If I didn't get my high school education, why should she get hers? She need to come work just like I do. She got to help pay bills just like I do. Are you serious? I just said it earlier today. Your child is your child, not your peer. Needing to make money to support their families as part of them caregivers. Sometimes they find that high school is not relevant to their lives. They feel like, well, I can make money without having a high school diploma. That's a lie. Yeah, let me take that back. That's true. You can make money without a high school diploma. That is so true. Mm-hmm. Working and I have nothing against fast food places. I'm one of those fast food junkies. I'm one of them. but you don't want to spend the rest of your life at Mickey D's, Burger King, Papa's, churches, or what is that, Raising Cane's, and other places like that. You don't want to spend the rest of your life making $300 or $400 every 2 weeks, $500 every 2 weeks, and sometimes that's a full-time check. Using drugs because of peer pressure. They can't handle the depression at home. And let me tell you something, they had it in this article that I looked at saying that students from low income areas are 2.4 times more likely to drop out than middle income neighborhoods. I beg to differ with that. That may be, and I'm going to list some famous people who who come from